I went ahead to start the recording since it is 5 o'clock. We are waiting for a few more members to join. Here comes Mrs. Jones. And comes our chair.
Hey everyone. Afternoon or
Hey,
evening.
Mary.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello, good
Afternoon.
afternoon.
Hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
I just want to make sure we're ready to go. Jennifer,
Yep, we are recording. So
we are recording?
you can start
Okay,
anytime. Yep.
very good. Thank you, Jennifer, and welcome everyone. It's Wednesday, September 2nd at 5 p.m. This is the Zoning Board of Appeals regular meeting. We have a quorum today. I'm going to ask Jennifer just to confirm. We have 6 members. I don't know who's on by phone, so am I correct, Jennifer? We have 6 members of the board.
We do. Yep, we're missing Ms. Kamei, and our phone participant is actually the petitioner. He's
Okay,
his computer
very
and
good.
phone.
Just as a couple of items that are housekeeping items, it takes 4 votes to approve any petition request. We do have 1 petitioner requesting variance today, an area variance, and we will have the clerk read that. We will give the petitioner an opportunity to speak, to explain a little bit more information about the area variance request as soon as we get the petition request read.
Okay. And just to note for the record that Stephanie Kamei has joined the meeting, so all members are present.
Thank you very much.
The petition of Kyle D. Marsh, 21 Vincent Avenue, Apartment 6, Tonawanda, New York, 14150, for an area variance to reconstruct a garage on an existing footprint on the north and east edges of current building location due to limited yard area and the allocated shared driveway. Reconstruction is on the same footprint and will maintain existing accessibility to adjacent home on parcel 387.19-8-50, located at 337 Hazard Street, Jamestown, New York, and owned by Dean and Michelle Marsh in an R1 zone. Section 300-0317, accessory structures. The required side yard setback is 5 feet. Proposed is 3.25 feet. The garage will line up with the old garage and will increase in size 7 feet towards the existing home.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. At this point, we are going to ask if Mr. Marsh would like to speak to give us a little bit more detail. The board was given a number of documents from Troutman Associates about the placement of the garage, but we will let Mr. Marsh speak to that.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kyle Marsh. I actually work for Troutman Associates, so I actually developed the drawings myself. I hope they were up to par. I guess in reality, my mother is trying to build or rebuild a garage actually at my home in Jamestown. And right now it is currently too close to the property line. And we're actually just trying to rectify a problem. The basement retaining wall is actually caving in, and we're just trying to, I guess, rectify a very dangerous situation. So we're hoping that we can rebuild the garage in pretty much the same location, just building it a little bit larger towards the house to just, gain a little bit more room. We don't intend to, block off anybody else's property in any way, shape, or form. We don't intend to, cause any issues, areaways, or, anything else. It's not going to impede on anyone. That's the intent anyway. Would you guys like me to show, some of the damage or anything like that, or the property itself?
I think, and I hope this is true, that the members of the board have gone and reviewed and at least looked at the property. I think it's probably best at this point that you again reiterate for us that it is not going to be built any closer to the property line than the existing garage is now.
Yes, 100%. We have no intention of building it any closer to the property line. It is going to stay in the same location, 3.25 feet away from the property line.
Okay. And just before I open it up for questions from other members of the board, Mr. Marsh, can you tell me the construction plans in terms of time frame that you want this to occur?
To be completely honest with you, I'm hoping to get it done as soon as possible. The winter does not help freeze thaw, so I'm hoping that we're really trying to get this built before winter, so that way this wall doesn't cave in any further. I'd rather, prevent any sort of, emergency or dangerous situation for anybody that could potentially be inside. So honestly, as soon as possible.
Okay. At this point, our normal process is we open it up to members of the zoning board. There are 7 members of the board, including myself. So I will ask if there's any questions and they can direct those to you.
Alrighty, feel free. Thank you.
Okay. Can anyone on the zoning board, do you have questions?
Sure. I have a couple of questions for Mr. Marsh. Nice job on those blueprints. They were great. Exterior finishes, will they be, are you going to do those according to what the blueprint said? Vinyl exterior finishes, asphalt shingled roof, 612 pitch roof, pretty much just as we see it on your drawings.
As of right now, that is the intention. I wanted to keep it above a 412. I was highly suggested to keep it above 412, at least for the roof pitch, due to snow loading. That way it can, shed any snow that needs to be done. The adjacent garage, actually, part of the reason why this wall is caving in is due to the adjacent garage shedding water directly on that wall and in between the 2 garages. So that's causing some problems, but the intent is vinyl siding is a little easier to replace. It looks nicer, so at least that's the intent, is to go with vinyl siding and go with the 612 asphalt roofing.
The Rains next door, they keep their property up really, really, really nice. And I guess, that would be a concern of if you're going to be changing the exterior, if you're going to put Texture 111 on the outside, or if you're going to use a metal roof. I can't tell you how to finish that, but it looks like the drawings show us that it'll be an asphalt shingle roof and vinyl exterior finishes.
Yep, that is the intent.
Okay. All right. And it doesn't look like that that the building is going to be 28 feet by 21 feet. It doesn't look like it will have any impact on egress and ingress out of that shared driveway, will it?
100%. I mean, we've shared this driveway for years. We're actually in very good standing with our neighbors. Actually, both neighbors. My uncle owns the property next door that is too close to the property line. He owns that property. He's actually sending a letter into the city to, give us approval, at least on his behalf. And the other adjacent neighbors that we share the driveway with, they are totally okay with everything as well. And we're in an agreement that we're not intending to impede any egress from them. So.
And it doesn't look like from the drawings that you'll have a walkout basement underneath the new garage as you do with the existing garage. That will all be filled and to slope to the backyard where the kids' pool is.
Yes. Yep.
All right, great. Thank you very much.
Are there other questions? Other questions from members of the board? I'm not sure if Mr. Sword's question was completely answered. I take it that there's going to be eaves and things that are going to move the water away from the property line where you said you have the shared driveway. Is that correct?
Yes. That is 100% the intent.
Okay.
I'm trying to prevent this from happening ever again. As a matter of fact, I even told my uncle if he'll let me, I plan on putting a gutter on his garage as well. So.
That would be nice and very helpful. Thank you. Any
Yes.
other questions from members of the board? Seeing none, then at this time, it is an opportunity for the public to speak, to talk about their either questions about the variance or whether or not they're in favor of it or opposed to it. Ms. Williams, do we have anyone from the public who is willing to speak here?
I don't believe so. Nobody had requested the code. We do have Dennis Phillips here from the Post Journal with us.
Okay.
So unless he has a comment or question, I don't
Okay.
see anyone else.
Then I guess the next question is there any correspondence that's been sent in?
I do. I have one piece of correspondence. This was dated August 31st, 2020. Please consider this letter my motion to approve the foregoing petition from Kyle D. Marsh for an area variance to reconstruct the garage at 337 Hazard Street, Jamestown, owned by Dean and Michelle Marsh. And that's signed by Mark S. Federico, property owner at 333 Hazard Street, Jamestown.
Thank you very much. At this point then, is there any comments from Mr. Scalise? Is there anything that you had in terms of questions or things that you would like the zoning board to know about this petition?
No, I mean, I've been working with Kyle and it's been pretty straightforward what he's trying to do. And, you know, I don't anticipate this being a problem if it's approved.
Thank you for that. Okay, any final questions or comments from the board?
As I usually do, I like to make a comment just to explain how and why I'd be voting, and I will certainly be voting in favor of the petitioner's request for this area variance. It seems like it checks all of the essential legal criteria boxes in that it's a 100-year-old garage on the property right now that's just in fair condition. Obviously, we're going to build a new property, a new garage, and that certainly won't be a detriment to the neighbors. I don't think that this could be accomplished in any other way. There's topographical limitations going to the east and going toward the north. That property line, there's a garage right on that property line, and you have the driveway on the south side. So going toward the house would seem like the most feasible way to go. Is the request substantial? It appears not. The requirement is 5 feet. They're asking for a little over a variance, a proposal of 3.25 feet. And I don't foresee any environmental disadvantages if the drainage is away from the property and not onto that driveway, creating a slick area in the winter time. So that would be my logic in supporting this petition.
Thank you, Mr. Sorg, for that comment and for reviewing, again, the various reasons why this board looks at an area variance request. At this point, we would be looking for a motion to approve the area variance request for Mr. Kyle Marsh on the property at 337 Hazard for a garage rebuild that is not going to be any closer to the property line than the current garage.
I make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second to that motion?
Second that motion.
Seconded by Ms. Jones. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, then I would have the clerk call the roll.
Okay. Ms. Kamei?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Kenyon?
Yes.
Mr. Panbianco?
Yes.
Mr. Smeal?
Yes.
Mr. Sorg?
Yes.
And Chairwoman DeTonto?
Aye. The vote is 7-0, and that means, Mr. Marsh, that you were given approval for the area variance. You do need to work with Mr. Scalise to move forward on this.
Okay, beautiful.
Thank you very much to the board members. We don't have any other agenda items, so that we can close out the meeting at this point. Thank you very much. Have a good week.
Thank you so much. Mr. Scalise, can I email you after this?
Yes, I'll be heading out the door, but I'll get to it.
Fine. Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr.